So I thought I'd do this in a video so that you could see the process for how I set this up. So always good to set up a table whenever you're dealing with distance problems, and the formula that you want to use is distance is equal to rate times time. That's the one that's going to help us to build a set of equations here to solve. So in order to do that, let's put in some of the information we have. So on Saturday morning, we have that she drove 3.6 hours. On Sunday, because of the traffic, she drove for 4 hours. Whoop. The other thing we know is that we know that the speed was 5 miles an hour slower on Sunday than Saturday. That makes sense because she had to drive slower. So let's just say that her rate, whatever her rate or speed was on Saturday, is R. Since she was driving 5 miles an hour slower, we can say, we can say it's R minus 5. Okay. I'll write that a little better to make sure that doesn't show up again. Okay, so the other thing, we don't know anything about the distance. It didn't say anything about that, so let's just call it D. It's the same distance for Saturday as it is for Sunday, so we'll just call it D. So now that we have the table filled out, distance, rate, and time for each one, we can make equations. So the equation for Saturday would be D is equal to R times 3.6, right, for the distance equals rate times time. And the equation for Sunday would be D is equal to R minus 5 times 4. So we have these two equations. Now the thing that they want to know is the speed. So we want to find, we want to find the speed, which in other words, we want to find R. So in the way that we can find R, notice that this D here and the D in the second equation, they're both the same D. So I can actually set these two equal to each other, meaning I could say that R times 3.6 is equal to R minus 5 times 4. And now what you have here in this equation is you have a scenario in which you just have R. And you can solve for R, and then once you find R, that should be the answer to the triad now. So anyway, I'll leave it here, and I'd like for somebody to finish that part of the problem, just to kind of go through those steps. But this is how you would set up, and every time you run into these distance equals rate times time problems, set up that table. That's the best thing, and use that formula D equals RT. Hope this helped.